The Volkswagen Amarok has always been tough and always been capable, and here at Wheels we've loved it. It recently won our Ute Mega Test, but now the Amarok has been updated and it's under here where the biggest changes taken place. Yep, the updated Amarok is all about the engine. It now gets a 3-litre V6 turbo diesel, so the same engine used in a whole bunch of different Volkswagen Group products. Obviously Volkswagens, Audi, even Porsches. A decent engine in what is obviously a truck that we've loved plenty in the past. And clearly that V6 is all about performance, so you're looking at 165 kilowatts, but it can overboost up to 180 kilowatts and 550 newton meters of torque. So both those figures are class leading, eclipsing what was the previous best, the Holden Colorado. No surprises then that it does go pretty well. You're looking at 0 to 107.9 seconds. We actually did some testing with it a bit earlier and found it didn't quite get to that, but we are running some different tyres on it here. So we were looking at sort of low to mid 8 seconds, the 0 to 100 dash. Still not too bad though. I mean, you're talking a vehicle that is obviously all about capability, towing, lugging stuff around and going off-road. And in this case, it also tends to punch along pretty well in a straight line. The engine's also pretty smooth and refined, so lots of pull from down low, even 1500 revs. Certainly by the time you get to 2000, it's thrusting along really nicely. And one of the things that also helps it is the transmission, an 8-speed automatic. So quite shortly spaced gears. You're actually in 4th gear by about 85, 90 k's an hour. So to do that 0 to 100, it's shuffling through plenty of gears. But what you find is it always tends to have the engine in that sweet spot. So you're hovering around that probably 1500 to 3000 rev mark, which is in the real meat of the torque band. In terms of getting the best out of the engine, it depends how you take off and how you're using that transmission. So it's got a really clever sport mode. Chuck it down and all of a sudden it's a little bit feistier on the down changes. And yeah, when you go to take off, if you try to hold it on the brake and get a really clean takeoff, it'll actually hold up to over 5,000 revs sometimes, but it doesn't feel particularly quick. So you're actually better off getting it to change at sort of 4,500 revs, which is where it will do that most of the time. That 3-litre V6 is also pretty smooth and refined, so you can punch it along a bit and it works nicely. It does a good job of shifting along what is still a big car. And in fact, the whole Amarok package is really nicely refined as far as utes go. It's certainly getting closer to the SUV target that so many of them have got. As for the rest of the driving experience, it's pretty much pure Amarok. You've still got obviously a bit of bouncing around, particularly in the rear end when it's unladen. It can tend to shuffle a bit, but generally pretty composed and certainly settles quickly enough as far as utes go. It's got bigger brakes, so stopping power is better. There's a decent feel to the pedal. You don't feel like you're driving a sports car by any stretch, but it does pull up from some decent speeds, particularly when you're coming down some long hills. And one of the big things with the brakes is it's now got discs on the back. It's actually the only one in the class to have that, so a bit of an advance for the ute category. Other things in the Amarok are done really nicely. The seating position, for example, so many of them get it wrong. You might not have reach adjustment on the steering, or the seats themselves might be pretty average. These seats are great. I've got full adjustability to everything, and you feel pretty much like a passenger car in terms of where you're sitting, so fantastic from that respect. The rest of the dash is obviously very Volkswagen-esque in its design. Maybe a little bit scratchy plastics going on the top, but generally a nice appearance and a functional dash as well. In terms of price, you're obviously going to pay more for the V6. It's a bigger engine and a more powerful engine. They're going to get a premium price tag on it, but and they've done that. You're looking at sort of between $3,000 and $4,000 more than what the 4-cylinder costs in a similar vehicle. And Volkswagen at this stage is only offering the V6 on the top whack models. So it starts at about 60 grand and goes up to about 68. But there are some things with the Amarok that haven't changed. It doesn't get rear curtain airbags, for example, the only ute in the class to miss out on that potentially life-saving feature. And it also doesn't get smart key entry, which again's a bit of an oversight for what is effectively a premium price car. But look, overall, it's the power, what's going on under the bonnet that most people are going to want this thing for, and it certainly hits a lot of high marks in that regard. It is a pretty impressive machine.